Reed, what up, bro? You boy, what, Joe T? I'll let you. Shout out to the Lost Boys. Y'all stay intact, all right? Peace right here in the building.
REED-BBS, BBS. Right here, right now, it still gets no bigger, no better than Terence Bud Crawford. Best fighter in the world, pound for pound. 40-0, 31 KOs. Now, this isn't a Bud Crawford day type of video. It's not one of those. But I did want to talk about that dog. That true fighter. That true fighter within. The sense of malice, the stone cold killer, the Idgaf, the I don't give a fuck way, just like the little kid on the cover of this video. You see it in his eyes. That I don't give a fuck way that makes Bud Crawford just who he is. Just who Bud Crawford is. We've all heard the stories, heard them, read them, the fighting stories. Bud's mama paying kids in the neighborhood to whoop his ass because he was a little badass and she just wanted somebody, anybody, to put him in check, put him in line. And mama's still looking to this very fucking day. We knew about Bud, heard from Kenny Porter about Bud getting into it with Team USA dudes at tournaments and whatnot. We know the story with him and Gary Russell back when they were actually closer to the same size. And again, Kenny Porter, Sean's daddy, was a coach on some of them Team USA squads that Bud was a part of, and he documented it, co-signed on the stories. For me, though, and even with the whole Jose Benavidez near fight, where Bud literally swung on him, didn't give one fuck about ruining the fight and the paycheck right then and there, even though Bud swung on him. For me, though, it was crystallized, it was realized during the Earl Spence fight, pre-fight, during those pre-fight moments. Jim Gray interviewing Bud, my man coldly wrapping his weapons of choice, his hands devoid of emotion, and then followed by the chilling, the fucking haunting, like a horror flick, the haunting ring walk, had the net draped over his robe and his trunks, on his way to catch the big fish. Man, that was some gangsta ass shit. Now, Mrs. Reed, she watches boxing. She watches just enough to know that she hadn't seen no type of demeanor like that before. She was asking me, is this Bud Crawford guy always like this? I could feel it. It was haunting. It was chilling. And his demeanor as he walked up the stairs and climbed through the ropes, all of that. Then he fought with precision, with execution. And it couldn't and wouldn't have worked out or played out any better if Bud could have seen the future and knew what would happen beforehand. That's how that fight played out. I don't even have to rehash it for you. But yeah, man, it comes from the fact, it stems from the fact that Bud has been scratching and clawing his entire existence. I think he started boxing at the age of 7, had an amateur record of 58-12. Of course, he dabbled with some Omaha, Nebraska street life. You know, we know the story of him getting shot and whatnot. He lost his Olympic chances to Saddam Ali back in 2008. Got on the pro map as a late replacement. Brady Prescott had just stretched Amir Khan in the first round, leaving his head draped on the bottom rope like a fucking pillow and shit. I forget who Prescott was slated to fight. Bud was on the undercard at a lower weight. Bud said, fuck it. They negotiated for him to move up a weight class and to fight his 10-rounder. And he beat Brady Prescott. The rest was history. Of course, Bud won the title at 35. He was the first 140-pound undisputed champion since Kostya. Bud was the first 4-belt champion since Jermaine Taylor. Jermaine Taylor was the very first. Then B-Hop, if I'm not mistaken. No, B-Hop was the first, then Taylor. And then since then, it wasn't until Bud got it at 40 that it happened again. Scratching and clawing, man. Bud said he got $600 for his first pro fight. And Hank Lundy And Victor Postol fights were his first $1 million bouts. So it took him several years, several nights to become an overnight sensation. So you can see why he fights with that malice, that coldness that's always been there, how he keeps everything in perspective. You really got to respect that shit about Bud Crawford when you really think about it. Watching it manifest, seeing it unfold in that Spence fight, man, it was, especially for a big fight, one of the best performances you'll ever see. Bud brought that Midwest style, low-key. Nebraska's up there in the Midwest, too, now. And you can see some of the Grand Rapids, some of the Flint, Michigan, your Floyds, your James Tonys. You can see some of that type of polish and craft and thought behind the way Bud fought. Or even fights, not just that night, but all nights, most nights. Yeah, man, the cake of his career is already made. He's just working on the icing and the candles. Now that's what Bud's doing. And people talking about him ducking boots and whatnot. Look, and Bud said this unequivocally. It is prize fighting. It is also the hurt business. And yes, it's 100% about the money, as it should be. It's not like he's scared of boots. Bud Crawford ain't scared of nobody. Boots Ennis brings a very low reward for a very high risk. This is nothing new. That's why that fight ain't happening. It's not a duck. Bud has bigger and better business to tend to. And yeah, man, just want to keep shouting him out till we get firm information on the next fight. If he's fighting Spence at 54 in the rematch. If he's insisting on 47. If Spence can make 47 for a rematch. If Charlo will be next in the mix. Or Tim Tszyu, since Bud is now there. He's now mandatory at 54 for the WBO title to face Tim Tszyu. Why not that? Or, of course, Canelo at 68, which they got weight classes for a reason. Bud would do better than Charlo did, but I still wouldn't even want to see him risk it. There's enough business to tend to 47 and 54. But yeah, Bud, salute to your brother. Can't wait to see you throw hands again. REED-BBS, BBS. Blackbird Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. Television, Fred Sanford of the District Arts. When all is said and done, there's nothing left to say or do.